So on the money angle of things, can you talk a little bit about what your multiple streams of income are and how you chose them?
Yeah, sure. And it's a good timing because we're in the coronavirus time of year as we record this in April 2020. And actually, the economy is very similar to when back in 2008, 2009, when I got laid off during the global financial crisis, which was really the last big crash we had. And when that happened, I realized that one company controlled my entire income stream. And I was like, I am never letting this happen again. I am not having this taken away from me. And so since 2009, I've pretty much designed my business to not be reliant on any single company, including Amazon. So Amazon makes up about 11% of my income, which is actually a lot better than most publishers. Most publishers are sort of 50+%. So anyway, my multiple streams of income. So first of all, with books, so what you have to think about with multiple streams is numbers of books. So I've got 33 books or something right now. Most of those are in ebook, paperback, hardback, large print, and audiobook. Then there's things like library borrows, subscription models, Scribd, that kind of thing. Then there's direct sales. So I sell direct from my PayHip store. And I have sold books in 149 countries. That's just in English. So then there's also other languages. Then there's licensing books. So for example, I have a publisher in France. I have a publisher in South Korea. I've used publishers in Germany. So that's just books, and that already, if you multiply those streams of income, that's already like 400 or something. Then in terms of other things, I have a couple of podcasts, the Creative Pen podcast and Books and Travel. And I have a Patreon for my podcast. So Patreon can be used for your writing. Famous writer using Patreon is N.K. Jemisin, who has won the multi-Hugo Award winning author. She has a Patreon, so it's not just for indie authors, for example. N.K. Jemisin is a great example of someone. I also have podcast sponsorship. So I've basically used content marketing, but also monetized my content marketing. Then I do course sales. And of course, as an author and a teacher, Kate, most authors teach as part of their job. There are very few authors in the world who make 100% of their income from book sales alone. Most writers teach in some form. So I tend to teach online. So I have online courses. I also do live events, generally for tax deductible travel reasons, because I love traveling. Hopefully that will be back one day. And then I also have affiliate sales. So for example, I use software like Pro Writing Aid or Grammarly or Scrivener, and I do tutorials on that kind of thing, or tutorials on how to build a website. So the things that I use in my author life, I also am an affiliate for the software and some services and courses that I also use. So all of those things add up to lots and lots of different income streams that all come in at different times of the month. I'll get paid multiple times in a day, usually. So what it's turned in, and again, this has taken years to build up, but it was a business design I had from day one back in 2008, when I was like, right, I need to sort this out. I need to protect things. And this is the first test, really. The coronavirus has been the first test, and it's been surprisingly normal financially so far. I mean, we're only in the first month or two, but we shall see. But because digital sales and digital marketing are really not impacted, and I work from home every day anyway, it's very protected. And if we think about right now, publishing is in a lot of trouble because it relies on print and it relies on bookstores, and that's where the trouble is at the moment. So I think, and I sell print, but I do print on demand through Ingram Spark, which means bookstores and libraries, and I sell print online and everything. So I have all the different formats, but I don't have to stock it or have it in warehouses or in bookstores. So those are some of the streams of income built up over time.